I believe in myself and my ability. I trust myself. I am capable and talented, and it is easy for me to recognize all my good qualities. I trust my intuition to lead me on the right path. I love the unique person that I am. I trust that the universe is here to guide and support me. And I have fun and enjoy all that I do. I choose to see the good in myself and the world around me. And I feel good about being me. I believe everything is working out for my highest good. I am filled with honor, integrity, and grace. I choose to feel at peace with myself. I surround myself with people who bring me joy. I am unique and different in my own beautiful way. I love and accept myself just the way I am. I honor and respect myself. I am powerful. And everything I desire is possible. I am in charge of how I feel today. I deserve the best, and I am open and receptive to all good. I'm willing to believe that amazing opportunities exist for me, and I'm willing to believe that I am beautiful inside and out. I have the ability to achieve any dreams. I am surrounded by love. And the love I give out returns to me multiplied. My confidence is growing day to day, and I surround myself with people who bring out the best in me. And so it is. Go ahead and open your eyes. All right. I think the most powerful message in Warrior Goddess Boundary Builder and in the inner circle is that you're allowed to do what's best for you. And the point of power always begins with self-care and understanding who you are and all of your unique gifts. And to stand strong and being proud and being powerful and being glad that you're the beautiful being that you are. You know, the Creator put you here on this planet. And all of us have an assignment to complete before we leave this earth. Do you know that since you were a little bitty girl, you knew you had dreams and visions? But because of circumstances, sometimes those things get lost. I invite all of you to come back to your truth. So module 8 is really, I love modules 6, 7, and 8 because that then pivots us into our mastermind group, which is the next step in the Warrior Goddess Boundary Builder process. Because now we've got all kinds of, practices and suggestions. Now we get a chance to navigate the pushback and the boundary resistance. And that's what really the mastermind and the support is all about going forward. And I'll be sharing that with you guys in the next couple of weeks, more than likely the second week of January. Let's talk today a little bit about Module 8, Pushback and Boundary Resistance. Here's the most important thing. You've worked really hard over these last, 10 weeks. And now here we are. We have much better boundaries, much healthier. We're speaking up and we're talking about what we want, what we need, and we're kind and polite. We're still working on things. We know we're a work in progress. But let's talk a little bit about how to maintain our new boundaries. First of all, this is mostly about developing a new way of speaking. Okay? And that's really important because in order for us to convey our boundaries effectively, the most valuable secret that all of us have to know, keep it short, keep it direct, keep it simple, and keep it kind. Often we add too many words because we're afraid we're going to hurt that person's feelings, or we over explain. You do not have to do that, because once you set your boundary, now it's up to the individual to do whatever they're going to do with that. When we use too many words or over explain, number one, we've lost our listener. And number two, in many environments, we've lost our credibility. Who is familiar with the stereotype woman who's overly emotional? This is feeding into a very unhealthy masculine belief. That's right. How many have heard this unhelpful belief that when you're on your period, you're highly emotional, and this is used against you by masculine cultures? That's correct. And how many of you worry that you're going to hurt someone's feelings or let someone down? Even now, after we've worked so hard, you see, these things follow us around like a ball and chain. Here's the truth. When we show up in, let's pick on professional environments, because so many of us want to have more money, we want to be successful, and we want to be seen as a professional. I talk a lot in Dream Builder about this, that what we attract, how we show up, is exactly what we attract. So if you show up emotional, if you show up reactive, if you show up setting a boundary using too many words, you're going to lose your credibility. Just as when you show up in an environment where you're talking about your business and you add too many words, this could be a problem. You've lost your buyer. So there's no difference between the boundaries framework and what we've been practicing and doing business, because both is how we show up in the world and how the receiver understands us and sees us. So let me explain this a little bit, ladies. That's why we start with self-care. That is why you put you into your schedule. That is why we make sure that we're putting anti-inflammatory, healthy foods into this body. Because when your body mind is inflamed, you're going to find yourself, on this roller coaster. You may be more reactive. You may be adding more words. And so often, I've heard some of the members of this group say to me, gosh, you know what? It feels like everybody's struggling just like me around wanting to make more money. And I'm like, sure. So that's why we start with self-care, because boundaries, success, making more money, having more freedom, it starts with self-care and boundaries. And understanding that when we're not taking care of us, we are reactive, we have too many words, we don't show up as a professional, you're not going to have the money that you desire or the credibility that you're worthy of. So number one, develop a new way of speaking. Number two, be confident and speak with a clear desire to communicate. Okay, this really pisses me off about Facebook culture. When did all this BS about confidence show up and self-esteem? Okay, this is garbage. Confidence comes from practice, and you have the right to exist and to be confident in every environment. Show up as you, get in there, do it. I believe in you. Message me, tell me what happened. I am in your front row. You must never feel a lack of self-esteem, ever. because you're perfect beings in and of yourselves. Now, confidence is about practice, and all of you have done just an amazing job of showing your confident selves. Not one of you is not confident. Every single one of you are highly confident. Every single one of you. This gets in the way. Don't listen to this. Listen to this. Okay. How many of you have met one-on-one with me? Yeah, damn near everybody. Well, you know for sure that when you meet one-on-one with me, we talk about that. We say, hey, you know what? What's the truth? Look at who you are. Look at what you've been through. Look at how you stood up. Look how you made it through this stuff. Hey, that's confidence right there. Do you know? Brave women are confident women. It's not easy being brave, but you know what? We do that. That's what you do. And it boosts your confidence. So be confident, speak with clear desire to communicate. The whole idea behind boundaries is not manipulation, it's a desire to communicate. I'm like, this morning I noticed it's raining. Of course, we've just had a big water problem. I go out the front door and the drain field is draining like the water faucet's on. And I go upstairs and I say to my husband who's sleeping, hey, guess what? The gutter is leaking. And he just, wah, explodes. Okay. So I said, okay, well, I want to let you know. So I leave and now I'm coming back later and saying, hey, I really want to communicate with you, and I'm sorry my approach was not helpful, but this had to happen right now. So let's continue this conversation. I want to communicate. So have that desire. Number 3, make eye contact and speak firmly. I know this is regional and this could be cultural also. How many of you have, Dr. Tanya? Oh, you might want to unmute.
That was a button I hit by mistake.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, I was hoping you had a question. Okay, so we want to make eye contact and speak firmly. And you want to watch your tone and say nothing, but never disengage. Stand your ground. How many of you will run or leave a situation when it gets hard? Never do that. Never walk away until you say something that grounds your brain and your heart. Okay, not something mean or something nasty or something reactive. You stand your ground and you say, I'm not going to stay here if this behavior continues. Would you like to change the subject or change the behavior? Because then I'm happy to stay. But when things get high and tense and there's yelling and emotion, we have to stand our ground and say something out loud, even if it's, that wasn't nice, I'm leaving the room. Because that's called a healthy relationship with yourself. Okay? I learned that from a therapist. And remember to practice the pause. Take a pause. So we want to set healthy boundaries as soon as possible, especially when it involves a love relationship. Because we've all had toxic love relationships, either one time or several times, or maybe you could see that happen in your own relationship. So now we know for sure that even if it can get out of control, and now we've got a real big problem, and if we set a boundary right away, that's helpful. If you're in the middle of a toxic relationship, number 1, it's not your fault, and number 2, now that you know a different approach, continue the boundaries approach. Know one thing, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I've got your back. Feel free to DM me. Remember that our goal here is not to have your mother or anyone else get it. No one's going to get it. I just want him to get it. That's not our goal. As long as you struggle, work, or put time or energy into getting others to get it, you're going to feel overwhelmed. Okay, here's some quick steps I wanted to give all of you. Number one, stop, breathe, and focus. Okay? So you want to stop, take a breath, focus on what you really want to happen. What do you really want? What's your desired outcome? So I'm going to use this around um, having a healthy relationship with my daughter because as I had to cancel our tickets to go see our grandchildren, I've never been with my grandchildren on Christmas before, and the oldest is 10. My heart was breaking, and I had to stop, breathe, and focus on the desired outcome for me and my husband and my daughter, my grandchildren, after I canceled my tickets. And it really helped me a lot because I was able to understand my personal boundaries, my personal limits, and acknowledge, how I feel. Because in the past, I would have just shoved it down and gone to the next thing. So take those moments to honor how you feel and then honor how other people feel. Honor how your child might be feeling in that moment. And then let that kind of sit and realize that, you know, there's a reason for everything, but there's a positive in every moment. So we want to respect other people's feelings, even in a toxic relationship. Okay. Like Silmar's had a very toxic marriage. I've had toxic moments in my marriage. Jesse has too. And so we've had toxic moments. And it's really important to step back and respect the other person's feelings also. Some things are impossible to forgive, but I want you guys to remember the Dalai Lama's love and kindness meditation. I am recording this and I'm really glad. May I truly be happy. May I live in love. So what you do, I want to back up, is you stop, you close your eyes, you think about yourself, and you say, may I truly be happy. Yeah. Thank you, Doreen. Doreen learned this in Dream Builder. May I live in love. May I live in peace. May I know the power of forgiveness. May I live in recognition that my life has deep meaning and good purpose. And then you take a long, slow, deep breath in, and you take a long breath out through your mouth, and you think of that person that you're really having trouble forgiving, that person who has broken your heart, that person who's hurt you deeply. And we call that our sacred friend. And then you would say, thinking of that person, may you truly be happy. May you live in love. May you live in peace. May you know the power of forgiveness. And may you live in recognition that your life has deep meaning and good purpose. And then we take a long, slow, deep breath in. We take a long breath out, and we accept all of these feelings. Because acceptance doesn't mean that you necessarily like or agree with that person. Acceptance means that we're all on the same path, regardless of how unskillful we can be. And then thank that person, because even if you can't forgive them, they've enabled you to grow. You may not know that now, but because that person was in your life and maybe they hurt your heart, perhaps it gave you an opportunity to learn more about who you are and to be a better human. So get curious about that. So boundaries are about your limits. Boundaries are about your special recipe. Boundaries are about communicating and bridging gaps in your relationships. Boundaries are really about being interested in communicating and bridging all of these gaps. It can be a problem in human nature. So there's lots of pushback scenarios that I offer you in this program in module 8. And you'll notice in all of this program, you have unlimited amounts of scripts and things that you can say in every situation. So I would say to all of you to go back to the situations and the scripts and rewrite your own. And look at this. I have a little card that I put in my wallet that I use because I can get into a real problem in my relationship. And this little card has different ways to approach communication and to master my boundaries, depending on what happens. And I look at that, and it helps me. Now, there's some people, and there are some boundary busters that you'll never change. There are genuinely mentally unhealthy people. Just know that, and know you're going to run into that. And one thing that I will say is that if your friend is toxic, don't hang out with her. Hang out with people that, lift you up, enliven you, make your life worth living. Okay, so there's all kinds of little boundary busters like microaggressions. They're subtle and they occur in any relationship. Pay attention to them. And your strategy is to be assertive and address what you see as a microaggression. And this kind of feeds really well, I think, into Jennifer's comment today. It's good to come back and say, hey, I noticed that you said whatever they said. What does that mean? That's a really powerful thing to say, you guys. And next time somebody catches you off guard, right? Like saying something unhelpful about your child or to your child, like, I noticed you're going to have to take longer. I ran into this in my childhood because I'm dyslexic, and I was treated like I was mentally disabled by by many people. So it's really good to come back and say, I noticed that you said whatever you said. Help me understand what that means. That one has helped me a lot, ladies, a lot. I use it a lot even now because women could say nasty things and walk away and say the same nasty thing, right? Again and again and again. And if you do not catch that, it's going to continue. This is why this happens, is because Nasty Nancy said something nasty to this one. She didn't say anything, so it worked for her. She was able to manipulate that situation. So she goes on to the next one and she says a nasty thing. And that person now succumbs to whatever her thing is, her manipulation is. But then she comes to you and she says that nasty thing. You say, hey, Nasty Nancy, I noticed you said the thing. What does that mean? What do you guys think that's going to put her in a situation to do? Feel free to unmic.
Oh, they get defensive.
Yeah.
They get defensive because they want to justify their actions because they don't want the reflection. They want that ego fed. And so the humility is a hard sandwich to take a bite of. And I think it's interesting how you did this because I actually have a household full of teenagers right now. And so they'll be constant because we're not emotionally stable. Our brain's not developed. And evidently I have become the pain in the ass of most of the people in my household because I like things like accountability and follow through and not tripping on dirty socks. So I will ask, like you said, okay, I'm going to take a pause and they'll be like, what do you have to pause for? I'm like, because it matters to me what the words are that I follow with, because I love you. So since I didn't feel like you did that for me, I'm going to model. And now let's try this again. What can we do here? And sometimes it escalates and sometimes it's a success, but it really is trial and error. And I did this. My family was like, you said something? There was a wedding last month, and this woman, there's a door. The smokers know to exit and not be in proximity. And she goes over, and I had just walked out because my brother happens to be one of the smokers. I'm not smoking, but I'm just letting them know what the next thing is that's going on and check in. And she locks the door and walks off. And I was like, what was that about? And they're like, oh, that's just what this gal's been. I was like, did she say anything? Did she warn you? So like you're talking about nasty Nancy, she's just gotten her cycle. Her cycle hasn't been broken yet. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make an effort to ground out of that, because I'm here for my cousins and their wedding, not here for this broad, not here for my brother and the other people all losing their joy because this gal comes out and just locks a door. And I was like, where do you get in? And they're like, around there. So I take some deep breaths and I'm like, God, be with me right now, doing some of my chi grounding, because the fury is wanting to come out. And I know that that's not a way to progress. And it then becomes on me, and it's not about me. So I find out, I was like, who is that woman? And they were like, what? And I'm just repeating what I said. It's not nice. I said, that woman just did the cuntiest move I have ever seen and didn't communicate. And I want to know what kind of power trip she's on. Who is she? Oh, she's the woman that runs and manages the property. I waited till the very end of the night. I'd let that go, thanked all the people that were amazing. And one of the people said, you're going to go talk to her? I said, you bet your ass I am. And I said, I'm not going to mention your name, because the gal that was really helpful, she served our family, even the person coordinating the whole events, you know, how at a reception, there's all the different stages, absolutely perfection. And this woman, again, there was other things after that because I wasn't paying any attention to her before that. Everything was very curt. And I walked up to her. She heard me giving somebody a review and thanking them. And then I turned around and I said, and who are you? And she said her name. And I said, can you take a deep breath? And she goes, yeah. I said, I have some feedback for you that you may not like. And I'm going to be very honest with you right now. And I don't know that you're ready for somebody to do that, because you run the venue. And I believe that people are really afraid to tell you how they feel. I said, but I'm not paying you. And I'm really glad that I'm not, because how you made me feel, you nearly ruined my evening. And you crapped on the professionalism of everybody else around you, because you took away from everybody else and the experience. I said, the level of professionalism that I've experienced, you tell people, excuse me, this door isn't to be opened. You don't just lock a door and turn your back and walk from people. That's disrespectful.
So can I take a pause?
Get to bring the energy up and be professional.
Yeah.
And the people said, one of the people heard me. They were like, you said that to her?
Right.
I said, yes, I did, because she took everything, every space after that she went into diminished. Mm-hmm. And the gentleman that was coordinating would bring everything right back up.
So,
but it was just something.
Take a little pause, because what you're sharing is that you were able to ask this lady why she had an unhelpful behavior. There's a couple of things, if I was coaching you one-on-one, I would bring forward here. So I think when we come to relationship, it's always important to be very short, direct, to the point, with no judgment or emotion. And that's where we get back to what we talked about earlier in this class today, is make sure. So now that you have had this experience, I would invite you to go back and develop a new way of speaking. So write down what happened there and what would be a different way of speaking with her, where you can take some of the and ask yourself, how many words did I add and how did she see me? Be confident and speak with clear desire. You had a great desire to communicate there. Awesome job. I know you spoke firmly because that's the way you roll. And I would also say to keep it short, keep it direct, and keep it kind, no matter what the bad behavior is. Because at the end of the day, you would really like this lady to learn from what her behavior. So when we're out in the world and we're setting a boundary, our intention is also to help people grow, because we're coaches and we're teachers and we're loving people. And so step back and say, in what way now can I, in the future, when I have somebody like this, point out their behavior in a very straightforward way that's non-emotional, and give them space to understand what was unhelpful about that. The second thing is, when we look at relationship, it's always a really good idea never to put yourself in the middle or to share whatever you're experiencing with somebody outside of the relationship. It's better in this situation for you to deliver this directly to her without having any comment with anyone else that was in the party, because it helps you to hone and strengthen your self-confidence and to not give this power, because in the fact that it becomes a story, it tells us that we give that power, and that's not helpful for you emotionally. So you did a really good job there. Thank you for sharing that, Jessie. So there's all kinds of strategies that we can use. And when we say, I noticed that you said, or I noticed your behavior, it's really good to come back and say, what was the reason for that? Help me understand why you locked the door. Help me understand why you took that out of so-and-so's hand. Help me understand, because, you know, that person needs to be aware and recognize that their behavior is, which in this case sounds passive aggressive, that their behavior was not a good thing. It wasn't cool. Okay, so oversharing. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there with me. How many of you have run into women who overshare? Like, you don't even know this person. You're sitting next to them. They tell you their whole sex life. I'm like, okay. So recently, I was able to give a corporate proposal to a company, because I do corporate coaching sometimes, and I want to work with a team, right? So this man wants to bring me on board for his company to help, 5 women on his team communicate. So I'm a communication expert. And he has one team member that goes into executive cocktail parties, which are, they're a business. And she runs around and she overshares with everybody in the room. I mean, everybody gets to hear about her birth. And this is really bad news, because it tells you that person has no boundaries. Okay, so gently redirect the person to a more appropriate topic. Assertively say, I don't feel equipped to help you with this situation. Or I often say to women, this is not this is more than I can emotionally handle. Can we change the subject? Or you can also assertively say, wow, this seems like a critical conversation that we should have at another time, not sitting in the lobby of the doctor's office. And then there's guilt tripping. This is really fun. It's no weapon in the arsenal of the controlling person is as potent as a guilt message, right? People with poor boundaries almost always internalize a guilt message, leveling at them. So Controlling people who direct guilt messages at you or trying to make them change your choices. It's a manipulative, I mean, you're wasting your time because guilt tripping is a manipulative strategy. And when we use it, well, we're showing that we have very poor boundaries because we're guilt tripping other people. Okay. So people use this to persuade you to do what they want. Maybe you've used guilt tripping to manipulate because you feel powerless. People that guilt trip hope you'll feel bad, comply, or agree to something. So here's your strategy. Call it out. Hey, are you trying to make me feel guilty about my decision? Are you trying to make me feel bad about my decisions? Make the conversation about you and not them. Okay, so when somebody guilt trips you, it's nothing personal. I just have preferences for myself. You can't make me feel guilty. That's what I always say. Hey, good try, but I don't feel guilty at all. I made the choice. I made the call. And I'm nice. I mean, I talk just like this. Hey, you know what? Are you guilt tripping me? Because it's not going to work. In fact, I told my mother that when she was still alive. Yeah. Hey, Mama, you know what? I know that, are you telling me this to hurt me? Yes. I said, well, you can try, but you know, that was 30 years ago and there's no guilt tripping on this end. Okay. So in closing, boundaries are not just saying no, right? What you've learned coming through the other end of this coaching program is number one, there's so much more. It's really about communicating your needs and knowing who you are. Secondly, you've learned all kinds of ways you can communicate your boundaries. So in the future, if you have a situation that comes up, push the pause button, go and look at, go and look at the program, find that specific handout that you have, because you've got lifetime access to this, and go through it and use the process. And you'll really be glad you did. Okay. Now, I want you all to know that I do have openings in my schedule for a recap. I am happy to gift you with your vision blueprint for 2026. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my scheduler link in the Warrior Goddess Boundary Builder Inner Circle in Messenger. Schedule a vision blueprint. You can schedule a coffee chat. Secondly, I will be circling back to everyone in this group. If you guys would like to take part in the February mastermind that I'm putting together for Warrior Goddess Boundary Builders, I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to have January free because some of you, you've invested in yourself and you're finishing one thing. And I would like for you to feel confident and comfortable. If you'd like to be part of the mastermind, we'll be meeting twice a month. I haven't determined the time yet, but it'll be during the day. It will not be at night. And it will be a mastermind designed to talk about situations that are coming up for you, to help you with your business. I'm really good at sales to help you to create what you need for your business and for your life, and to help yourselves, have the support of other wise women. So it's a literal mastermind. But we want to talk about our limits and boundaries and situations that we're navigating, because this really is the secret to success, is knowing how to navigate every situation. Okay. And there's some big situations that can come up for us. If you have a client that is toxic, because we can have toxic clients, by the way, you don't have to coach everybody, but sometimes we make a mistake and we end up coaching people who were not a good fit for us. You can come to the mastermind. You don't have to it's perfectly confidential. You can bring it out. We've got master coaches in there and you'll get the help that you need. Okay. or whatever you're struggling with, a toxic husband, toxic partner, bullying for your children, a client who's making your life hell, someone at work, your partner, come to the mastermind, and we'll have a question at the beginning of each mastermind that'll be designed to take you to a higher level. Because I'm all about having masterminds that are about everyone growing and leaving with something they can use, not sitting around and complaining, because that's unhelpful. It's low energy. There's no value. So masterminds are really important, and we'll talk about that in February. And I will be inviting you, and it will be affordable. Okay. So does anybody have any questions for me on Warrior Goddess Boundary Builder Inner Circle, the program, the progression, what comes next?
What's the visioning thing that you talked about, the
Vision
session?
blueprint. So you'll schedule a 90-minute call with me, and I'm going to help you identify where you're feeling the most longing and discontent in the 4 areas of life: your health, your relationships, vocation, and time and money freedom. And then together we're going to design what you would love to do, to be, and to create if you had all the time, the money, and the freedom in the world. And we're going to create that in terms of where do you see yourself in 3 years, because the conscious mind has no connection to the 3-year mark. Okay. So this is what a vision blueprint is. And then if we're a good fit for coaching, I may invite you to Dream Builder to do Dream Builder coaching with me. And that's a one-on-one program that I offer. I have several programs that I offer, but this is a really powerful process. Dream Builder was created by Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey. I bring Deepak Chopra, Dr. David Simon, and David G., some of my teachers, into the space. But for the Vision Blueprint, it's a gift. It's 90 minutes. It's about a $450 value, but it's my gift to you. I offer this every year.
Thank you
And
so much, Laura. I have patients waiting, so I need to go, but thank you for that clarification, and I'll be on your schedule soon.
Thank you.
Thank you
Goodbye.
so much. Bye, everybody.
And
Have a
in
good holiday.
closing, I would like everybody, if you can, guys, I'd really like for you to share one saying or one thing that you've lived your life by that has really helped you. Like maybe your mom told you something, or maybe there's, I don't know, there's a saying that you love. Yes, Jennifer, the 4 categories: your relationships, health, vocation, and time and money freedom. Okay, so here's a statement that I've lived my life by. Now, you guys know I had a learning disability. I was 4 pounds when I was born. I was either destined to end up in jail or very successful. And this is true. And I ended up with both. So what I want to share with all of you is this is something I've lived my life by. There's absolutely nothing you cannot do if you put your mind to it. Jesse, how about you?
Oh my gosh. I was sitting here going, I have so many things that my folks said, and the only thing that's coming through is my dad's. Don't matter what's going on, I'm fine as frog hair.
Fine as a frog. Kathleen?
I believe, and this is, I'm a Jesuit Catholic now, wasn't always, but what I learned from going through the spiritual exercises is that whenever I've had a couple times in my life where I thought everything was just falling apart, and it turns out that around the corner, everything was so much better than I ever dreamed it could be. So I think that's one, just taking a step of faith. And I don't know if you'd call it faith or hope or just plodding along and hoping it gets better. It usually does. It always does. And it becomes a miracle.
That's beautiful.
So that's what's worked for me.
Doreen?
I have two that I live by every single day, and one's from my mom and one's from my grandma. My mom, there's always something good that comes out of something bad. And my grandma, try to always learn something new every single day. And I live my life like that.
So it's about new things. Jennifer?
This is a tough one, but I think the top of mind thing is to live in the solution. Like there's always messy stuff and we can get stuck in all the problems, but to try to live in the solution.
Wow. See, now that's so
I like
positive.
that.
That's saying, hey, you know what? Turn anything negative upside down.
Yeah.
There's-
Flip it. Flip the story. Flip the script.
Yeah, flip the script.
Hmm.
And you know what? Google has an answer for everything.
Yeah.
Right, Doreen? Silmar?
Never give up.
Never give up. That's right. Keep on going in there. Because as we know, Doreen, right, in his career, Babe Ruth struck out more times than he made hits. And he had the world record for the most hits, most home runs. So never give up. Stay in the game. Never walk away. Stand in your power in the most heated conversations and say what you need to say before you leave the room. That's the secret to being emotionally and mentally well. Because we have to stand in our power. And we have to, at the end of the day on your deathbed, you have you. It's between you and God. You come into the world alone. Ultimately, you leave the world alone. Ultimately. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. Good job, Doreen. Okay, everybody, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for giving me permission to be your coach. I hope to see you in the mastermind because you are masterminders. And it's going to be fun watching all of you in the mastermind make more money than you've ever made before. Because that's what I've seen before when I've had these masterminds. Quick story before I let you guys go. I had a woman last week and she had just raised her prices. She creates websites for people. She's a marketer and she says to me, I gave this doctor a proposal. I raised my prices. And in the process of talking to her, I said, okay, what if you let go of the cost and the price? Because she was afraid that the woman would not hire her. And I said, you put the woman first. You put that lady first. Put your clients first. Put the money last. So I said, talk about what you have to offer. Talk about how much you're excited to work with her. Talk about if she can stay where she is or she can be the best damn doctor, you know, you're going to position her here. And then you say to her, do you have any questions for me? And then come back with the price. And I said before she left this one-on-one with me, I said, you know what? You're getting this client. They're going to pay you $7,000. I want you to tell me, get back to me in the next 2 hours. Because next hour, the woman's going to pay you $7,000. Guess what? The woman paid her $7,000. She said, you know, Laura, it's uncanny that you knew that. I said, no, there's no uncanny about it. It's dream building. When you're a dream builder, we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. Okay? Believe in you. I believe in you, even if sometimes you might not. I will believe in you. Okay, everybody, sending all my love. Go
Thank you, Laura.
play. All right.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas.
Thank you.